Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to the iRacing Formula 4 Challenge. Yes, today I was having a bit of a look through the iRacing app and I noticed that I'm only 63 iRacing away from 2K on my Formula license. So I thought there was a 15-minute race going down here at Tsukuba. I thought if we get a good result, hopefully we can try and get back over the 2,000 iRating mark. This race very, very quickly goes slightly downhill. Carnage on lap 1. And then a lot more chaos as we continue on. But Tsukuba, I think, is a great track for the Formula 4 car. It's really kind of hang on to the vehicle through, obviously, all of those hairpins around this place. Get yourself subscribed if you're new, and let's do this thing, I guess. Well, here we are then down on the grid, ready here at Tsukuba. If we were to finish 6th, I gain 45 iRating. I believe I need 4th to try and get myself up over the 2k barrier. So that is going to be the goal as we head into this one. The gap between 2nd and us was like quarter of a second here. So obviously around such a tight, twisty circuit, really getting your qualifying lap nailed is absolutely key as well. Probably going to be close to 20 laps, I would have thought here. For a 15-minute race, your lap times are around kind of, if you can go sub 54 seconds, that is going to be the big goal then. But ready here, we're just waiting on the final few seconds of the countdown. I think pretty much everybody has gridded up now. There we go, everybody's gridded up. Let's do this thing then, here from Tsukuba. The 4 red lights are on.
Green, green, green. You got the black flag. You jump the start. You have to drive through the pit without stopping.
That's been a little bit of a disaster. Just accidentally. Oh, man. Right, well, this is now becoming a recovery drive then in this race as we immediately get a 0x for contact with that guy. And I think everybody... Okay. That guy just clearly didn't want me to be here anymore. That's a little bit odd. No idea why there's such a big gap a little bit further behind then. But as starts go... That one has been a little bit of a disaster. Yeah, I can definitely feel that damage on the front end as well, but hopefully as we get the tyres up to temperature, our life might become a little bit easier. And, well, suddenly this race hasn't been about trying to get to 2k. It's been about trying to lose as little iRacing, or iRating, sorry, I should say, as we possibly can in towards the final corner. Make sure we get over that pit lane entry line. I don't even know whether the pit lane entries here are actually out through the final turn, but that's exactly what we're going to do. Get it slowed down to 60. There's already quite a few cars into the pit lane then, so yeah, a few people have ran into troubles early on in this race as well. I think we're going to re-emerge down in about P12, maybe P13. So there we go, that should be our penalty served, and it is. So at the moment, we'd lose 21 iRating from this. Let's see if we can try and get back up at least to positive iRating. Luckily, we weren't the highest ranked car in this lobby. I believe it is another top split event, like we did in the Ferrari Challenge Cup. If you guys watched that video yesterday, as well as trying to just get the power down nice and easy through that corner. We got 2 seconds to Michael just in front of me, but the gap's in front of him. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what these guys' lap times are like. Alejandro there, 7 seconds up the road. Whitman about 8 seconds up the road. But of course, if they battle, anything like that, you know, a lot can change very, very quickly. And although it's not always a perfect measurement, we have got higher iRating than a lot of these guys. You wouldn't guess so with the way I'm driving early on, though. Through down in towards turn 1. I mean, it's such a short lap here, like I said. These guys are running mid-54s. Whitman there might have made a little bit of an error. I definitely think a top 10 is on the cards. If we can get this nailed in, if the front wing damage doesn't cost us too much, just got to be very, very careful on managing those tyres as well. Because if you get those even just a little bit up over the temperature, then yeah, you're going to be in for a world of hurt as well, as already had quite a few cars drop out. We'll definitely have to take a look at the incident report at the end of this, just see what went down at the start, because yeah, there was like 21 or 22 cars in this lobby. So, yeah, quite surprised that we came back out about P13, so I'm expecting some almighty pile-up, considering everybody gridded, if I'm not mistaken as well, but we got one stopped. Yellow's out. Who's that then that's had a bit of a spin? It is going to be Whitman there, so we should be able to get immediately around him. And there we go. Top 10 now, a whole lot closer very, very quickly. So minus 12 iRacing if we were to finish here. So 11th, I think, would net us about, well, lose us about 3 or 4. And then obviously, yeah, if we finish in that P10, then we should just gain a little bit. As long as it's going in the right direction, that's kind of always the main goal first and foremost. I definitely think, if I don't jump the start, I definitely think, you know, I could get up to like 3k on Formula iRacing. Obviously now it's been split between that and GT. I feel like, you know, understandably, from my kind of sim racing background, the Formula cars are generally going to be the ones that suit me more. But of course, as anybody that's driven the Formula cars on iRacing know, so much of it can just be dictated on that one. It takes one guy doing something stupid to completely ruin your race, so that's what you've got to be very careful of. As we're getting down towards, I mean, that's already quicker than I managed in qualifying, but there's definitely a few more tenths in it. But obviously we've just got to play the patience game. It is really easy on this circuit just to slowly start overheating the tyres, where there are a lot of traction zones and everything else. You know, it just takes one big moment of wheel spin and you just cannot kind of get them back in the operating window. So it is really, really important if you're doing this race that you just try and take it carefully, as leaders almost down into the 53s. So yeah, I don't think the damage is costing us anything. You know, I'm not as quick as some of our top runners here, especially with lines like that through the final corner. But definitely feel like we can get some good pace out of it. It's a 54.8 there. That's not what I wanted. I was planted in like the low 54s in practice. So we've got another spinner. Oh my lord, that's been chaos. How on earth did everybody get around him just about? Alejandro there having to take evasive action through the grass. So that, again, is going to reel us in even closer. And now we are up into that P11 spot. So P9 actually on the table, and then a big, big gap just in front of him. I definitely want to do more Formula 4 racing. I know we've got 4 series now on iRacing doing it. But I definitely, I do like the format. I miss the 20-minute races, to be honest, but I can understand kind of why they've chucked in the 15-minute ones. I've kind of got an idea for a little challenge video as well I fancy doing at some point, of trying to do all of them back to back. Might do that on a stream over on my Twitch. But yeah, that'd be quite good fun as well, just to kind of see what it's all like. But how early does this guy want to brake? I mean, just to try to avoid him there a little bit more than I thought I would. But we cannot afford to let Michael get away too much either, so just taking it nice and easy. You know, you can try and wait for the guy in front to make a mistake, but I mean, this is basically an oversized go-kart track. So it's really kind of difficult to find any room there, as again, you know, perfectly within his rights to come back down to the apex, but just a little bit scary that you don't kind of know what speed he's going to carry off the corners or anything like that. So we are just having to be a little bit cautious. You know, the goal first and foremost, as always, is to get to the checkered flag. So just trying to take it nice and easy. And obviously, yeah, wait for an opportunity, wait for a window. Or, of course, really try and lean on him and see if we can force the error. But you're always a little bit worried about getting collected in someone else's mistake, as we saw very early on. Oh, come on. Get the car rotated in. Oh, yeah, he's definitely struggling. He is going to try and defend it. Nice and easy. The opportunity will come to us, and luckily, yeah, Michael's not really getting away either, so yeah, definitely going to be a chance there. We'll just show the nose. Never going to actually try and go for something like that, but just show the nose. See if he'll kind of panic in a bit of an error there as well. I mean, where is he going? He's all over the road down in towards the final corner. Can we have a look to the inside? Is he letting me by? I really cannot tell. I don't think so, no. But we did get a lot of clear air over the front wing there through that final corner. But again, can we just try and have a bit of a... Whoa. As soon as I tried to have a look for it, he immediately swept in. So, good job I wasn't fully committed to that one. Otherwise, that could have been quite a disaster. But, yeah, we're already over halfway through this race. So, I need to try and get around him sooner rather than later. Whoa! Okay. I didn't feel any contact through the wheel there. That was a bit weird. That was really weird then. Just must have skimmed the back of him and sent myself round there. So that was very, very weird. But I guess, again, it gives us a little bit of breathing room. This race, bit of a disaster so far, to be completely honest. But, yeah, so I wasn't trying to run into the back of him. Of course, why would you in a Formula car? It's basically suicide. But very, very weird there. Just immediately snapped round. So it didn't feel anything through the wheel. There was kind of no indication that that was about to happen. But maybe now, if I've given him some breathing room, he's going to be able to try and close back in on the guy in front of him. Let's just try and, again, get back into our good laps, get back into our rhythm. Oh, don't cook those tyres, Matt. Got to still be careful with them. As I mean, he's running low 55, so we've definitely got the pace to not only close back in, but also still get round him in the time we've got left. Michael's running high 54s, so that might be a little bit more difficult, especially if Alejandro, you know, he's perfectly within his rights to defend it. You know, I'm not complaining about him defending. But just, you know, obviously you want to get the best result you possibly can, and sometimes it feels like the guy in front of you is slowing you up. This lap's felt alright, though. Wait and see what time it is when we get back round to the finish. So just really struggling to try and get that car pointed into that final corner. Do you brake earlier and potentially obviously just hug the apex right the way through? Do you try and brake a little bit later and obviously then carry a bit more speed and obviously try to meet the apex a bit later on? It is anybody's guess, as again we have gone quicker by a few tenths of a second over those two in front of me. Don't know whether Alejandro's car's got a little bit of damage as well. We certainly didn't do any damage to him. It was only a 0x in the end, and then a 2x for the loss of control. But, oh, I'm running very, very wide through there now. Just got to be really, really careful. Definitely, you know, the tyres aren't kind of overheating badly or anything like that, but you can hear the car start to slide across the surface. Got 5 minutes left then in this race, so probably 6 more laps if we're lucky here. So we probably have got time to get back to Alejandro, but will we have time to get around him? Only time will tell. So we just need to be setting good, reliable, quick lap times there, and another 45.6. Sorry, 54.6 even, I should say. A 45.6 here would be utterly ridiculous, but come on. You've really just got to try and almost drag that brake in through turn 2. I mean, through a lot of the corners, you're just basically trying to drag that inside wheel in and try and use the outer one just to rotate the car through. I'm not really sure why crew chief is reporting on that one, because that's not a good lap time at all. And clearly there are battles going on at the front still. Late on in this, as yeah, Alejandro, to be fair to him, is taking a little bit of time out of Michael, so we might all be closing in on each other slowly but surely here towards the end of this race. That's more the line I wanted. Shame I picked up the throttle too early on the exit. We use all of the available AstroTurf and maybe just a little bit more. Come on, down into T1. 54.8. That was slower that time round than Alejandro in front of me, so we might just have cooked these tyres a little bit. At least, oh no, we are still in negative iRating territory, aren't we? So, on the day I thought we might get 2k, I might be about to lose a little bit here. Let's just see, we'll keep pushing towards the end, really hang the car through those corners. Oh, there's been a mistake. There's a bit more battling going on in front. This is good news for us. If those two really start squabbling towards the end, you can already see that gap down under 4 seconds. This race is not over. 4 laps to go, I reckon. Oh, come on. Those two need to really fight. Fight like crazy towards the end of this. Nice and tidy on the throttle on the exit. Yeah, that time round we have 57.1. Of course, is not a good representative. We took half a second, though, out of Alejandro. But again, our pace is just not where we need it to be. Late on, we need to be just near our apexes. There's all a bit more tyre smoke. I think Michael's really starting to slow him up here. There is definitely going to be a window towards the end of this. A shame we weren't still kind of in that fight already after that little bit of contact. You can see Michael trying to defend into the corners. Oh, nice and tidy through. There we go. That gap now, 3.3 seconds, 3.4, floating around there. So I'm really hoping, yeah, Michael just parks the bus towards the end. And we can just keep reeling these guys in. We might just get one lap right at the end of it. But I've got to keep nailing my lines as well there. Again, running all of the exit curb through that final corner. Really try and carry the speed in. Go for a nice V angle through turn 1. I mean, he's just pushing him along at the moment. You just see we are ever so slightly overdriving the car as well. We've got to be so careful of that. It's so important that you kind of stay out of any trouble or anything here through these final few corners, through these final few laps as well. Oh, come on, nose in. Gap down to 3. It is still coming down, but I don't think it's coming down by enough. I don't believe the white flag will be out this time. But maybe if they end up with an incident or something, anything, towards the end of this race. Come on, throw the car through, nice and tidy. Looks actually now like Alejandro might just be dropping away from him again ever so slightly. Oh, come on. We're really trying to give it everything now. Starting to feel the back of the car slide around just a little bit more. Oh, again, we're just locking up that front inside wheel ever so slightly. I think as it gets more worn out, we are starting to struggle with it a little bit more. I'll try the short shift up to 4 through there that time round. So you can carry big speed through, but I'm not convinced it's any quicker. Wait and see what the lap time says at the end of the lap. But yeah, we just have not been quick enough here. I know I did one of these races a few months ago, and obviously track conditions, everything like that will be slightly different. But yeah, really don't feel like I've got the same pace anymore around this circuit. There's a white flag out then here from Tsukuba. One more lap to go of this race. Are we going to be able to do anything? Are we going to see any kind of error, any kind of mistake from these two in front of us? We've been chasing them down towards the end. Looks like Michael's actually kind of unlocked some pace towards the end of this race, but unfortunately, yeah, we are not doing the same. 54.8 that time round, and I think on a day where I thought, like I said, I was going to gain iRating, or was hoping to gain some iRating, I think we're actually going to lose 1 or 2 here, which is a real shame when all is said and done. In through the penultimate corner one final time then. We brought the gap back down to Alejandro to under 3 seconds here. We pulled away from Gregory and Whitman behind. I think we have had good pace. I think we could have had the top 10. But ultimately, I did the damage to myself right at the start. Through the final corner, from 6th on the grid, it is only going to be P11. That is a big old shame. But anyway, let's go take a look at our incident report. Well, let's take a look then at our incident report, and I think things kicked off pretty much at turn 1. The number 19 car gets thrown around, and then him and the 3 car kind of got stuck together. There's more chaos on the exit. What on earth is that? So there was carnage right at the start of this one. I mean, that guy's just gone flying as well. What on earth has happened here? So just trying to piece it all together. I think, where's the pink car been spanned from? Hopefully this guy gets us a better idea. I think he's trying to avoid the other carnage and just collects in. The Simucube car just goes over the top and then skates down in towards turn 2 upside down. I mean, that is just carnage at the first corner there. Say, I get, again, the Simucube car trying to avoid things and then never really backs off the throttle again. Probably could have saved himself there from a much worse incident than they ended up happening, but yeah, that'll explain why there was suddenly such a huge gap behind me after the start of the Grand Prix, and obviously you can see there a little bit stuck behind us as well then. This was my incident, if we try and actually get to the right one. Here we go, hopefully. No, apparently we're not going to be able to see that one. iRacing, apparently, yeah, is a little bit peculiar with that one, so let's just take a look then. Where am I? There we are. So we've already been span out. As you can see, this guy blamed me for the contact down at the next corner. Now, he's now told me it's netcode, but I think he obviously saw that I jumped the start, which he kind of there going, you know, it was a little bit of a shame, but, you know, I'm still here to race at the end of the day. I let the other guy go through without any problems, and he just kind of locks up and understeers into me. But apparently that's my fault, because despite the fact that I've got a pit, I should just be jumping out of his way? Really not sure how that one works. I'm sure I'll keep talking to him about that once I've gone through all these incidents there. Anything else, though, that happens early on? I think most of the race was fairly instant-free after that. Apparently this guy's just picking up a load of them for... Obviously, he must just have a tiny bit of damage that now the server is just registering him constantly getting incident points. Yeah, it was a really, really odd one, wasn't it? Back down through turn 2. Of course, we start the lap. No kind of issues there. Obviously, I thought about having a look to the inside, but he covered it off. So just kind of tried to avoid it. But then as we make our way through turn 2, 3, and 4, he's going to brake again very, very early there. And you just see... We just, get caught up behind him. I'd say I thought there was likely going to be just a tiny bit of contact. But really, really weird. Probably should have judged that one a little bit better myself there. You know, not blaming him for it. Just obviously a little bit slower than I was expecting. But yeah, very, very surprised that tipped the car around. I think we were a little bit unlucky. But again, able to kind of get it going without too many problems. So, unfortunately, yeah, the replay a little bit bugged there. The carnage at the start. But let's go take a look at our final race results. Well, taking a look then at our final race results. Minus 0.47 SR there. The D-License series really do not favour you if you end up getting a 4X. 2 iRating loss, though. Honestly, I think could have been a whole lot worse in this race today there. As you can see, fastest lap was a 54.0. So I think it was a really, really warm circuit. This one today. William takes the victory, though, by 9/10 of a second. Sebastian, who obviously we had contact with early on, will come through for P3, just ahead of Christian there, with Shin rounding out your top 5. I believe it was Yuho who made the most places, though, from 18th to 7th, or Michael from the back of the grid to P9 as well. So 12 places gained and 11 places gained for those two. And it was just Yuho as well that got away with a 0x there. Oh, and Raul right at the front of the order. A good fun race, one that I'll certainly look back on and have to learn from my mistakes. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back very soon with more iRacing content.